Maria Garcia here. I'm your customer service leadership trainer, and I'd like to share a story with you about customer service. A couple of days ago, we get cruise ships here in Key West. A couple of days ago, a gentleman came into the store. He was looking for some peroxide. I told him that I was going to take him to the item. And as we were walking to the aisle where the peroxide was, I asked him, I said, "How are you?" Before I ask him how he was, I am very good observer, and I always look at people's body language. That tells me a lot on what kind of mood. And I always see facial expressions. That kind of helps me to figure out what kind of mood people are, how they're feeling, etc. And it kind of helps me to interact with the customers, because then I know which side I'm gonna go when interacting with them. So when he said to me, "Well, not so great," he says, "because I took this trip to get away for a little bit," he says, "but I'm going under chemotherapy," he says, "and it kind of I just don't feel well," he says, "and I thought this trip will help me, but it's not." He says, "I'm going through a lot of pains, and I'm going through a lot of depression, and I honestly," he says, "just wish to return back home as soon as I can." And so I talked to him for a little bit, and then I asked him, I said, "Can you share with me something positive about your life?" I said. And he looked at me and he says, "Oh, Maria, I wish I could," he said, "but it's just the way I feel right now." He says, "I cannot even think of um, anything good happening in my life right now." So I looked at him and I said, "Well, I can tell you things that are happening that are good in your life," I said. And I said, "Look at this," I said. "You're in a trip. You're in a cruise ship." I said, "I wish I can be in that cruise ship. You are here in front of me talking to me. You're alive," I said. "And the most important thing," I said, "you need to start focusing on all the blessings that you have." I said, "I want you to do this for me every morning." I said, "Look at the sun." I said, "Every morning, look at the sunrise." I said, and give God thanks for that gorgeous sunrise. Look at the sunsets." I said, "Give God thanks for allowing you to see the sunset one more day." I said, I look at your life." I said, "You're on a cruise ship right now. You could be dead." I said, "So that's a blessing in itself." I said, "I need you to start focusing on every blessing that you have." I said, "Every breath that you take is a blessing." So once you start focusing on your blessings," I said, "you're going to see that you're going to recuperate fast. You're going to be happy. You're going to be grateful, and that's going to help in your recuperation." I said, "Believe me." And I share a story with him about my sister. My sister is a cancer survivor, and how she used to dance, how she used to try to live a normal life, even though she didn't feel like it. She always stayed positive from the beginning to the end, because she wanted to tell the story. And that helped her a lot to recuperate faster. Knock on wood, she's still fine. She's living a wonderful life. And she always tell people, you have to be positive. So after talking with him, I suggested a couple of books. I suggested a couple of videos that he should be watching. And he shook my hand. His whole demeanor, his face, his body posture, everything changed by the time that gentleman left the store. And he shook my hand and he says, "Maria," he says, "I appreciate your words." He says, "I am feeling much optimistic. I am going to follow your recommendation," he says, "and God bless you." And he left. Customer service, it's about making people feel better than when you found them. I always have that in mind. And we are energy. We transmit energy whether we are aware or not. So if you have a positive energy, you're going to transmit that positive energy to the person you're engaging with. So positive is one of the things that I always preach in customer service. You have to stay positive, not only because it's good for you, but also it helps your customer. Like in this particular case, it helps my customer feel optimistic about life. My friend, this is all for me, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day. And remember, be positive. Until next time, ciao.